Hi everyone. Yep. Good morning all. I'm VIPIN KV, founder and CEO of Autogenbots. Today's topic is engineering autonomy that makes economic sense. We are a robotic mobility solutions provider. With over a decade of experience in building robots, I started off having a vision to build the future of physical AI in off-road robotic mobility. And agriculture, we believe, is the most toughest environment for any off-road robotics mobility to start off with. And we wanted to solve a very big, impactful problem. So we started focusing on inefficiencies of tractors and drones, and then we were trying to bring our solution to it. Uh, what I mean by these inefficiencies of tractors and drones, when you look about spraying in India, especially orchards like oranges, mango, guava, etc. So we have lands like this where they use tractor attachments. As you see in the photo, these are live photos from our field. There is huge gap between each crop, and they just randomly go all four sides to completely cover a crop. And you spray more on these air gaps rather than on the crop. And they didn't know any solution exists to solve this, so they randomly spray. And to add to this issue, most of the pests resides in the lower canopies where sunlight hits the least. Because of the size of these tractors, they're not able to focus the lower canopies. And you're spraying actually to kill these pests, and you're not actually focusing on areas where they sit most. So that was a problem. And then labor issues. These are very harmful pesticides, and then the environment is very extreme. You go 40, 48 degrees and then down to 12. And they're finding very hard for the labor to work in these environments as well. Tractors were specifically designed for open field activities, but they didn't have an alternative, so they just used tractors. And then the other alternative was drones. But then the problem was, for an acre, you need 200 to 500 liters there. And then they can hardly take 10 liters, 20 liters max. And the payload is less, pressure is less, runtime is less, and there is a lot of certifications involved. So all these problems, attacked drones from being useless in that situation. And then we had our own challenges specific to the geography. So we usually have constrained space, very high density farms. Typically, it's around 5 to 20 acres. Very price sensitive market. Any solution you bring, it is fighting against a labor of $4 to $6 per day. And we had to come up with all the technology inside, which has to carry this 200, 500 liters on top and manage this uneven terrain and has to give a fast ROI less than a year. So that was the challenge which we had. Any solution, any tech we use has to give up an ROI in 6 to 12 months of time. So then we really started, digging in deep to give you a perspective of what happens there. This is a video from our farm. There is no manual backpack. Manual spraying is on top of the tractor. You guys, the two people sit and randomly do spraying. And then this tractor attachments are there as such. A huge amount of wastage throughout the sites, and they randomly drive this all four sites to completely cover the crop. Yep. And then to solve this, we had to innovate in two different directions. One is a very capable off-roader. Then comes our 2 degree of freedom robotic arm for the targeted spraying. So this, we have around full days runtime. It's around 12 to 18 hours of runtime, 4G connectivity, robotic arm which target sprays, around full 500 to 600 kg payload, 1.5 ton towing capacity, intelligent sensing. We'll just go to the video so that you have a view about this. Yep. So we made videos so that it's visually better rather than me explaining things. Yep. So this is our off-roader. So it's around 1.5 meters long, a meter width, size of a mini tractor. And we can do this whole day task with our full day battery life because we focus on the service model, so it had to run full day. And it has a payload capacity around 600 kgs on top. You can, in this video, you'll see a 3-ton truck also being towed in this. So this, articulation and steering was very important for us because the size constraint is there. You cannot take wide turns. And yep. So we use all-terrain wheels to go into almost very difficult environments. Yep. So this has around 200 kgs on top. With the same weight, we are also towing a 3-ton truck behind. And this whole thing costs less than 10K in India. That's same as a 10, 20-liter drones cost. And this is how we do servicing. We have foldable ramps, which helps us go in. You can just tow it with your car or a jeep and go in farm to farm to do your operations. We have very simple remote control system for like even our laborers, learn to handle our robot in 5 minutes. Yep, and we have we, works in very swampy environments. So the robotic arm, we target spray on each crop so that we don't waste on these gaps. So you can see the quick movement between the crops swiftly being moved. There's one more clip coming up. Yep. So we also have lidar systems which detect these gaps and then turns off the nozzle so that you save in these gaps as well. So this 180-degree coverage enables us to, completely cover the tree in just 2 rounds rather than going 4 times around it. And these high pressure mist allows us to penetrate deep inside these crops. And we have a lower arm which actually covers the lower canopy where most pests sits. And yeah, so pest sits there because sunlight is least, so they go in that area. So we target that area to eliminate pests from that area. And these high pressure mist involves, helps us to go really deep inside the trees. We have a negative image coming, which will clearly show you how fine the mist particles are. Yep. Yeah, in this you can really see it goes almost toward the center of the tree, so completely covering very deep inside. Oh, we have night visions to do spraying at night. So what it does is night spraying is much more efficient than spraying on the day, and this whole thing's height of spraying, width of the sprayer, width of the sensors, height of the sensors, pressure, everything is adjustable. We don't need to reinvent the wheel all the time. So that's our complete unit. So yeah, in terms of direct benefits to the farmer as we speak right now, it's in different layers. Just by avoiding these gaps, you're saving somewhere close to 20-30%. And then high pressure mist again allows another 20%, 20 to 30% in total. And this combinedly gives around 50 to 70% savings in the input, which is a recurrent cost. Every 30 to 45 days, they have to spray, and you save hourly. And we only add this being electric, saving labor as a additional benefits. So this combinedly can give an ROI in 6 to 12 months of time, even if they buy. So compared to a hand-on comparison with a tractor-based system, they are spending somewhere close to 100 liters per minute. We reduce that to 8 to 25 liters. What it does is the proportionate ratio of the pesticide or chemical being used is come down. So every hour, including our cost of service, we save around half of it. Yep, and we are about to start our service. We have around 3,000 to 4,000 acres service agreements to be serviced. We had a logistical issue to start the service, so we used that time to get up service agreements, and we took testimonials from experts, farmers. They are really excited to take on this technology back in home. And this is like a vision we have plus our market combined together. So this is how we want to move out, use orchard spraying as a beachhead market for us, then really move into other segments, because we are making a robot which is very capable handling very off-road conditions and very tight spaces. So that type of robots are required in multi-sector environments, and so we thought we'll build, use those as subsegments. And then we want to leverage this VLA technology to bring in technologies to other attachments in agri as well as other industries. So, yep, this has been an epic journey for us. We are completely bootstrap company. Till date, we have not raised any capital from any outside vendors. It's bootstrapped, and many state and central government has given us multiple grants, including institutions like IIIT Delhi, IIT Bombay, and other organizations, and that helped us to reach where we are today. So we have built the product, field tested it, and now we had an exclusive launch through Gopher, all bootstrap. And all this was possible by 2-member team. I took care of all the technology side, and my co-founder took care of the operations side. And we kept it like that. We didn't want to burn a lot of cash before we start going into the field. So everything else was outsourced. Now we are trying to raise around 500K to build the team and execute the next stages of the company. Yep. So hopefully you can meet us. We are looking for collaborators, accelerators, VCs, and funds to, propel our journey. Hopefully you can meet us at booth number 40. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, VIPIN. Put the headsets on so we can do our Q&A. Anybody have questions for VIPIN? Yes.
Really impressive what you achieved with just 2 people.
Yeah.
Really cool. And so I'm not super familiar with the orchard spraying ecosystem. I know there's a lot of competitors out there. My understanding of your sort of unique technology is that you've really addressed the cost issue compared to other competitors. Is that what it is, or what's the key enabler of your tech here?
So what we saw in India, we don't have any robotics companies focusing on these orchard issues. We have robotics companies focusing on rice, spraying, and other crops like vineyards especially. So we are in a pretty good zone there. And instead of, so what this ecosystem we have, any tech we build is around $4-6 fighting against that cost. So that enabled to bring us a technology which is very reliable and gives you an ROI in 6 to 12 months of time. So we hope to scale that technology to the other parts of the world as well. Yep, hopefully.
Okay, 1 or 2 more questions. Anybody have a question? 1 or 2 more? Yes, okay.
Awesome. Hey, quick question. You are primarily in the orchard business, right? Is there any plan to expand? Like we have strawberries, where we plant strawberries, and we're looking for solutions where we can do multiple stages on the strawberries. It could be punching holes for planting the strawberry plugs, or it could be harvesting the berries, or it could be monitoring it, right? So do you have any ambitions to move beyond orchards?
Yep, definitely. Like in our vision, you can see we are planning to go into this harvesting mode and all other segments, attachments as well. But then, as you told, we are a very small team, 2-member team, trying to raise funds, then expand into other. So we are trying to here understand specific problems of farmers here as well, and then get into segments in other sectors as well. Of course, yeah.